What's up, everybody? It's me, Nightwolf. I'm a bit flustered, and I'm a bit agitated at this very moment. So, I decided I'm going to turn the camera on, I'm going to rant, and I'm going to rave, and I'm going to get pissed, probably, but I need to get some things off my chest, and I'm going to get it out of the way, so then I can move on. So, recently, Diamond shut its publishing, or its distribution down, which everybody kind of saw coming, and also a lot of the printers are closing down too, probably, so there won't be a whole lot of publishing of books. I mean, there might be some that are still open and he'll still publish books. I don't know. Some have closed down and aren't considered essential, but we'll see what happens. But as of right now, or as of, I think, yesterday, Diamond shut down. Okay? So, the comic book shops are going to be in a little bit of trouble next week and for the next couple of weeks because they will not be able to get new comic books. Okay? Well, obviously, you're looking at old books. This is a stack of comic books from England's auctions, the accumulation of at least about two or three sets full. I'll get to that in a second, but what has happened is that some of the comic book creators, as of currently in mainstream circles, have been recommending that they're still going to be publishing the books. Marvel and DC and all the others are going to keep on publishing. However, what they're going to be doing is they are going to, at least for the moment, only be selling the books digitally. Now, a lot of those creators said, at least for the time being, if you are a collector or if you are someone who likes the physical books, you'll just have to wait. Just wait a bit. Hold on. Prepare for a couple months or maybe more of a bit of a long haul. And, hang in there. Do what you can. Still go to the LCSs if they're still open. A lot of them are still going to be open. Some of them are doing curbside pickup. So basically, you order your books either through a mailing list or however means possible. And then you go and you pick them up on the side of the curb when you can. Which sounds great. That'll help keep the shops running for a while. I would also recommend that if you can still do curbside pickup or if you can still get into your shops, do other things like go through their back issue bins, go through their trades, buy some stuff, support them. The one thing I noticed, though, and the reason why I'm making this video, and we'll talk about other options, obviously, for helping comic books, but as of now, there have been a few other creators, those of the Comicsgate variety, or whatever, creators, other YouTubers and whatnot, who, to me, at least from my perspective as somebody who still cares about this industry, who still cares enough to, support good creators, support good comics. And I know, some people may think, oh, well, Marvel and DC, they're both woke. They're all trash. They don't produce anything worth my time. And it's like, you know what? If that's how you feel, fine. That's okay. You don't have to go and support these current comic book creators because they hurt your fifis or whatever. That's fine. I mean, some of the comic book creators hurt my feelings. So, there's a good strong chance they may not see very much money from me because they acted like assholes. Although I will say, I did just recently pick up a Mark Waid comic book. Actually, two. I talked about that Captain America book that was terrible, but I did recently download Comixology, which is another source of getting comic books. Surprise, surprise. Buying digital, what is that? But the digital books are also good. They can be a good substitute, at least for the time being. If you're still buying any mainstream Marvel or DC books, or independent books, that might be your best option, is to buy them from a digital service like Comixology. And hey, look, I picked up Kingdom Come, a comic book by Mark Waid that everybody touts as probably one of his best works. I'll be sure to read it at some point, and probably, I don't know, maybe I'll review it at someday. You know, you never know. But my anger and my frustration, at least at this current point, is that with the way that this situation has transpired, the virus is all over the news. Everybody's shutting down. A lot of states are pretty much on lockdown, with the exception being essential locations. At a time like this, petty fighting and really garbage takes on social media or on YouTube, it's not needed right now. Okay? This is not the time for that. You may still not like some of these creators and whatnot, but everybody is in the same boat. And I do mean that. Comicsgate is in the same boat. A lot of you guys might be losing your abilities to publish books, because the printers will be out of commission potentially. I don't know how many, but it sounds like a couple of them have shut down. But if any of them do shut down, you'll be in the same boat as everybody else, especially if you don't have a digital alternative. Sorry about that. The books seem to be sliding. You know, you are... And that's where I see it. I see, because I was talking to some of the other creators. I was talking to Brett Booth in particular, who's an artist. He's amazing. Follow him on Twitter. God damn it. The guy is a really good artist. But I was talking to him, and he got, well, some hot takes from Comicsgate people like Andrew Horta and Donald Delaley. Screw off, both of you. Seriously. He made a suggestion to buy digital comic books. You guys are not part of his industry anymore. You're part of the independent industry now. I don't understand why anybody who is no longer a part of that industry, who has continually tried their best to torpedo it and say it's dead, but you guys still talk about them. I don't understand. I don't get it. If the comic book this current time is going to show if the comic book industry, especially the mainstream one, and the publishers, and even the independent publishers who are small, if they can adapt to the times and survive. Same for the comic book shops. Will they be able to survive this? Some of them will. Others may not fare as well. It depends on how well they handle the situation and what they do and what the response is. To me, the comic book creators who have responded to the crisis and who have made statements and discussions are doing what they can. You may not like what they're offering. That you may be upset because you won't be able to buy the physical copies. Or because you think that physical is the only option. It's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter. Physical books are for collectors. Like me. That's what they're for. That's who it's marketed to. They're marketed to mainly collectors, not so much people who just want to read a comic book. Because there's a lot of potential in the digital market to just sell digital books and to read digital books. If you have things like Amazon, like Kindle and whatnot, or Audible, those are alternative options to going out to a bookstore and buying a book. I'm sorry that the world has moved on from mainly being a physical media. I still like physical media. That's why I have this huge, massive stack of books. That's why I have this book. That's why I have this manga. That's why I have this. I'm not saying not to support physical copies or to go out and buy physical books. You should. If you love physical books, buy physical. But in a situation like this, you may have to sacrifice your physical, at least for the time being, and buy digital. But those physical books will come out eventually. When the printers come back on and when Diamond is back up and running. Which will probably happen in a couple months or so. Hopefully. All the garbage takes. These garbage takes kind of just show me that despite this crisis, it kind of just shows who really cares. Who actually cares about the comic book industry? Who actually wants it to survive? Who actually wants to help it? Because I'm going to be completely frank and honest. While I love independent books like this, because they are enjoyable, because they're fun, I have to say, there are things that these guys cannot compete with. Or would be very hard-pressed to compete with. It's hard to compete with Batman. It's hard to compete with Spider-Man. It's not impossible. I'm saying that it's hard to do. I am always going to be drawn to characters that I have a fond memory of. I am going to be intrigued by the Titans, by Green Lantern, by Superboy, by Robins, by anybody. Name a character. The problem is that these independent creators, at least in some cases, can't really compete. And they can't seem to even remotely think of a way to compete in a way where it's like, this could be the new great thing that everybody talks about. What do we have? Cyberfrog? Okay, I guess that's something. Certainly has a fan following. Cult fan following, but it's like, it's a following. I can't deny that. And I mean, I love this book. It has a following. It has a fan base. I am one of those fans. I love Tim's work. And Pel Creepy's work. They're great guys. But what I will say is that at a time like this dick measuring contest, let's call it, is unneeded right now. In a situation like this, people should just be out supporting comic books however they can. Sad thing is I don't know if any of these creators in Comicsgate even still go out and buy comic books. I don't know if they go and buy back issues. I don't know if they go out and they go to their LCSs. It's hard to say. They seem to spend more time on Twitter and YouTube than they do actually going out in the world and actually, I don't know, reading a comic. I don't know. This rant is because of that. In a time when, in my personal opinion, we should be trying our best to work together, I'm not seeing a whole lot of cooperation. I know that in some cases, some of you were hurt. Okay, I understand. But in times like this, now is not the time to lash out. Now is the time to try and get along. If, at bare minimum, if you don't want to support the mainstream comic book industry, okay, that's fine. You don't have to do that. Just for the duration of this situation, could we stop fighting each other? Just for a short period of time. Give it a week. Give it 2 weeks. I don't really care. A couple days would be fantastic where we don't end up fighting each other over stupid inane crap. Can we stop that? Is that so hard? It seems to be. Leave your petty crap at the door, for Christ's sake. I think that's it. I think I'm done. That's all I could really think of off the top of my head, and quite honestly, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that this is what people care about instead of the actual characters, the actual comics. They'd rather fight. And it's sad. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you agree with my rant, or if you don't, whatever, leave me a like. You can leave a comment. Please feel free to do so. Subscribe if you're not. That's fine too. Quite honestly, I don't expect much traction because being middle of the road and being balanced and trying to bring balance normally doesn't get you much of anything on YouTube. But hey, I'm trying, and I'm going to continue to try. But of course, as always, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I'll see you next time. Night Wolf's out.